1997, I was fresh out of high school, and I was so eager to leave my hometown, to get to the capital, to get to the seminary, and to leave like this world of 19 years of my life behind me. And I thought that I was on top of the world. Like I thought this is the forefront of life. And then I ended up at the seminary just to realize that my life story is probably one of the boring ones compared to everybody else. Most of the guys over there that also joined the seminary were older than me. There was maybe, I don't know, 30% of us who came out of high school. Everybody else already had some kind of life journey behind them. And it was really cool listening to their stories because that's the first time in my life that I realized I'm nothing special, at least not yet. I really thought I was special until that time. But then when you get real competition in life, you realize, okay, there is way more that I have to go. I remember one guy, like he's sharing his story. That was, so 1997 was literally post-war Yugoslavia. The civil war that lasted 7 years ended a year before that. So everything was still very fresh. And one of the guys, he's talking about like how did he come to the point of deciding to be a pastor. At one point when they were running away from the enemy, during the night time, he didn't even know. He walked straight through the minefield. And numerous people died on that minefield. He just walked through it, and everybody was amazed in the morning. They were retracing his steps to kind of find the way through the minefield future. He says, like, he remembers that. So one of the mines had that line pulled through, so you kind of, when you trip it, when you hit it, his footsteps were on one side and on the other side of that line. He says, I have no idea. I was supposed to trip that. I didn't. And I'm listening to that like, wow, that's amazing. Then another guy comes in, and he's, actually you guys might remember him, some of you. You remember Ben? He used to be a pastor over here with us for like a year and a half or two back in 2012, 13. Some of you remember him. Yeah, right now he's in Atlanta. But if you remember him, he had those like really heavy duty, like the beer bottom glasses, because his eyesight is completely whacked out. Well, he wasn't even supposed to leave his hometown because his eyesight was so bad that he needed help getting around. And he says he was praying like, God, if you want me to be a pastor, do something about my eyes. So next morning he wakes up and he realizes that he sees really well. He goes, they take him to the doctor, and the doctor is like, I have no idea what happened, but your eyesight is improved just enough that we can get you the glasses so you can actually study. So I'm listening to all of these stories, and I'm like, what do I have? Nothing. And what struck me the most is like, when I was 17, I remember receiving this calling. I was junior in high school. There was one moment in my devotional where I was sitting with the Lord praying, and I remember it as if it happened yesterday. Like I remember the voice, not the audible voice, but the voice welcoming me to serve Him. And at that point I knew, like, all of my peers were struggling. What are we going to do with our lives? What kind of degree am I supposed to get? Do I follow my dreams? Do I follow the money trail? Do I follow what my parents tell me to do, and so on? And I was like, oh, this is so awesome. Like, I already know. For me, it was already figured out. You know, what am I going to do? So I didn't have this struggle to get to a certain point in my life where everybody else around me had it. But when I got to the seminary, I realized a lot of people actually, in order for them to become a pastor, they had to sacrifice a lot in their lives. They had to leave their life paths. They had to leave things behind. They had to leave their families behind. The oldest guy who was at the time of the seminary, for me, that was like ancient old. He was like 32. He literally, like, he was disowned by his family because his family had a huge family business and he was supposed to inherit everything and run it, and he decided to leave everything behind and come be a pastor. At that point, I was like, I felt really blessed. Like, I really had no struggle whatsoever to get to where I am right now. Until I realized that God is preparing my struggles. I guess he didn't want to break me yet, but 25 years later, plus, looking back, I realized one thing. After all of the pain and the struggles and everything that I have been going through in life, I am still under construction. Amen. All of us are under construction. The question is, are you working on it or not? For numerous years, especially COVID and on, I kind of stopped working on myself. And then God decided to shake me up and put me in place and get me going again, get the construction crew back in my life. So things start rolling. I want to share with you what God gave me. I want to share with you what God taught me and what He is still teaching me in hopes that it will help you guys also understand that wherever you are in life right now, it's not the destination. You are still on the way. Nevertheless, you might be lagging behind because you don't know that you're under construction. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 43, verses 18 and 19. Beautiful verses, beautiful. Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Now, this is a promise. And this is a promise that Isaiah wrote around the time when the people of God were at the end of their exile in Babylon. The king of Persia allows them to go back and rebuild the temple and rebuild their country, and God is bracing them for this. God is telling them, but here's the thing. One thing that is really cool over here, this is not just a promise for them. This was a commandment as well. And this is, I feel that God is telling us as well the same thing. So it says, remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. We always have, you guys remember the good old days, right? You remember? Huh? Richmond has been so long in this country, he doesn't even remember the good old days anymore. I remember the good old days. Like, and then looking back, like, you know, there are those, depending on what's at stake, like the good old days vary, you know. But all of us remember those good old days. And now there is an interesting human tendency. We always want to relive or reawaken those good old days because we remember them to be good. But we keep forgetting, I am not anymore the one who I used to be back then. If you are, then you really need to work on yourself. But the matter of fact is, God is telling us, God is giving us a specific direction. He says, listen, whatever happened, happened. The past is behind you. Maybe it was an amazing past, maybe it was not that great, but all of us always kind of reminisce on those times wanting them back. And God is like, no, time to forget the past. Even if it was a great one, time to forget it, because you know why? Another promise comes. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth, do not perceive it. Every single day, God is looking at you, and He says, whoever you are right now, I have so much better plans for you for tomorrow. I want you to be different tomorrow than you are today. Just as you're different today than you were yesterday. Nevertheless, most of us really prefer to be stuck in very comfortable me, whoever I am right now. You know, all of us have that tendency, you know? I feel mediocre fine. My back hurts just a little bit. I can, let me see, Oh, I can touch my toes. Woo. All right. I don't have to work out for a week now. I feel good about myself. We tend to do these things to ourselves, and especially the older we are, the less change we appreciate. The more kind of settled in sense is what drives us. But that's not how God envisioned us to live. God looks at you and he sees you as somebody who is moving forward in life, not somebody who is stagnant at wherever they are. There is, let's do this. How many of you love to hate LeBron James? Come on, be honest. Everybody loves to hate LeBron James, right? He is a great basketball player. He has some great scores and some great numbers. But for some reason, everybody loves to hate him. Okay, he did some things that kind of deserve it. But essentially, he is really keeping himself at top of his abilities, at top of who he is and who he wants to be. But people simply look at him and always criticize him. You see all of these memes and all of these comments, like people like to criticize him. At one point, a couple years back, he is giving an interview, and he says, like, I don't understand these people who keep criticizing me. Like, I'm really trying every single day to be better than I was yesterday. And they look in the mirror every single day and they don't change whatsoever. Their life is never going to be different than what it is. Why would they criticize me? And of course, that was taken as a sign of arrogance and as a sign I'm better than everybody else and so on. But no, he is right. He is 100% right. When you look in the mirror, let me ask you this. When you look in the mirror, do you see the same person that you were yesterday? Or even worse, do you see the same person that you were a year ago? Did you improve? Did you move forward? Or you're comfortably stagnant in your life where you are right now? If you are, then you're missing on an amazing promise from God. Because God says over here, I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. These are the promises for our lives. God has an amazing plan set for you to achieve in your life. And he will reveal it to you, but only after you commit to change. Only after you agree that you are under construction and that God wants you to move forward and be a different, a better person, human being, Christian, mom, dad, daughter, son, student, worker, boss, whatever you are. He wants you to be better tomorrow, and he has a plan. But he's not going to do anything until you perceive it. That's what I would like us to talk about today. I want us to talk about this concept of breaking ground. Like, where do you start? If you're content with your life, that is the most difficult place to be at. Because when you're content, you don't need anything, right? If I'm good, why fix what's not broken, right? Well, guess who said that? Genesis chapter 12. Let's go to Genesis chapter 12. Now, the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. So Abram went, and as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the people that they had acquired in Haran, and they set out to go to the land of Canaan. Now, Abram was set. Why would he do this? Like, he was let's kind of compare it to our age. He was probably in his mid-30s. He already had family wealth. He already had his own wealth. He had a paid-off car, and the second car was paid off. He didn't have any mortgage on the first house. His equity was immense on his 2 investment properties that he had. Like, he was settled in every sense of the way. And he had the good times rolling. Like, why would he change anything? But there was one thing that he didn't have. What didn't he have? Anybody? This is a question that I expect you to answer. What didn't Abram have?
Have or doesn't have?
Huh?
Have or doesn't have?
Oh, what did he not have? No, he had a purpose, like Bible doesn't say. Bible says specifically what he didn't have. Can be louder, please.
A boy.
A boy, okay. That is a true traditional speaking. I wanted to say a child, but a boy is more precise, yes. Just imagine Abram's thoughts. So he wakes up in the morning, he goes through his morning routine, comes back from the gym. His wife is over there already prepared the breakfast. They're having a breakfast, enjoying the time. Family is coming over this afternoon. Lot will be there, and his brother and his dad, and everybody's coming for the weekend. And he looks at his 2 cars in the garage, and he's looking at his financial portfolio, and he's asking himself, what's the point? Why am I doing all of this? Who am I going to leave this to? Lot? I mean, he's a great kid. Yeah, I love him. My brother's son, he's fine. But with me, my name dies. Why would I bother? Do you have some restlessness in you? Think about your life. Do you have some restlessness? Do you think things should be or could be better in your life? Or you know that they could and you really want them to be better. And then you look around at all of the things that you have, like you look around at your family, at your finances, at your degree, at your personal improvement, but you feel that something is missing. It's just not that great as it could be. Very often we say, well, it is what it is. That is what life is all about. You know, life is about compromises. Life is about, you know, give and take. So you got to settle for what life has for you. But the thing is that God does not want you to settle. We are way too easy to settle into not so great financial situation, because if I want to be better with my finances, I got to rethink this job that I have right now and maybe find something else. Maybe you're not in that great of a marriage. You know, everything was great in the beginning, but somehow as the time is going by, like not everything is sitting that well, and I don't know now, like what can we do right now? Maybe your kids are not listening to you anymore. And I should have really done it differently 10 years ago, but now what can I do right now? And then we settle. This is what we do. We pick the biggest amount of misery that we can handle, and then we call it happiness. That's how a lot of people live their lives. Like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to deal with it. Yeah, my life is good. I'm counting my blessings. Have you heard those people? But ask them to count their curses.
I like those people.
You like people?
Yes.
You should be counting your blessings.
That's right.
Nevertheless, a lot of people, there are some people who do it the right way, but a lot of people count their blessings so they would ignore their curses. Granted, there are no curses in life. If you live a life with God, there are no curses. There are only challenges and steps up. But a lot of times, we look at our life and say, okay, this is my best mediocre self. Let's just stick to it. But God would not allow Abram to do that. That's why God tells Abram over here. Can you go back to verse 2, please? Sorry. No. Genesis 12. Genesis 12, yeah. So, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. What was God implying over him when he talked to Abraham? I will give you an offspring, man. I have it figured out. But you'll have to upset your life. You'll have to uproot yourself from everything that is comfortable for you. You will have to deconstruct and reconstruct every single thing that is part of your life in order for me to be able to fulfill my promise. And that's why God told him, okay, pack up your stuff and leave. First, we have to get you out of this familiar environment that you are in that has so kind of comfortably packed you in, and then we're going to work our way through on your way. The only thing Abram had to do is believe. Do you pray for change in your life? If you pray for a change in your life, God is going to bring forth change, but you will have to make the step. And if you don't make a step, that indicates one thing. You don't really believe God. God will bring you opportunities in life. Here, ask for more money, He's going to get you fired from your job. So you can get an opportunity to get a better job. Ask for better family relations. Some conflict is going to happen that's going to explode everything. No, but seriously, that's how God works. Because God needs to shatter things first before He can rebuild them in your life to be better. Anytime you ask for a change, oh, He's going to bring change. But the change is going to mean everything that you are comfortably numb in right now is going to have to be annihilated and eliminated in order for you to be able to grow and be more than who you are right now. And the more you hold on to the same old is an indication that your faith is smaller and smaller. Because when you believe that God knows what He's doing, you're following this breadcrumbs in your life with curiosity, not with fear. Upset always comes when you ask for God to improve your life. But you have to believe that this upset is for good. This upset is for a blessing. Abraham, before he became Abraham, he made so many mistakes. He made so many mistakes. He screwed up so many things. And some mistakes he did again and again and again, but eventually got to the point where he believed. You remember him. He's taking Isaac to make a burnt offering to God, and Isaac is asking him, Dad, okay, we got the fire, we got the wood, we got everything ready. Where's the sacrifice? What did Abram say at that moment? The Lord will provide for the sacrifice. He knew. And it was so crazy when you read the book of Hebrews, so crazy for me to think about that. The writer of Hebrews says, and with faith, Abraham was ready to sacrifice his son, believing in the resurrection of the dead at the last day. He was ready to make a step, insane step, that God prevented him with. Why? Because finally, after a lifetime of failures, he learned to believe God. Breaking ground starts with two things. First one, be ready for an upset in your life. If there is no upset in your life, you're not praying for a change. If there is no upset in your life, your soul is getting stale. Ask God for a change, for improvement, and then embrace the upset. Because that will be a step up into you becoming something that you've never been before. So first thing is, what did I say? God won't let you settle. Yes. Second thing is, now this is interesting. This is what I found out in my personal experience. I found it in the Bible, and I really believe it has to be this way. God will not allow you to get ready for a change. He will not allow you to get ready. It's an odd idea, but it's so true. Exodus chapter 3. Exodus chapter 3. Now Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian, and he led his flock to the west side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush was burning, yet it was not consumed. Moses is experiencing something crazy, something completely extraordinary, completely out of place compared to the 80 years of a life that he already lived. I like to, again, if we compare him to our time, let's put it this way. Who was Moses at the time? Moses was probably in his late 50s, early 60s. He's getting ready to retire, you know? He had a pretty wild political career in his early days. And that political career ended up with tremendous disaster and with the exile that he had to embrace on himself. So he decided to calm down. And he just accepted a job with his father-in-law. He was subcontracting for him in his business, taking care of the sheep. And that was his life. You know, his early 30s, he finished his political career, and now for the next 2 or 3 decades, that's all that he did. Day after day, night after night again, taking care of the sheep. He's looking at his 401k, looks pretty good. He has some investments over there. But then he looks back. I really imagine, it was very hard for me to imagine Moses as yeah, it's fine. Why did he do what he did in his early days? His heart was consumed for his people. He knew that he had a purpose for being in Pharaoh's court. One of the few survivors of the first Holocaust described in the Bible, when the Pharaoh was killing all of the children year after year, all of the male children, and he survived in a crazy way, and he knows the story. He heard the story of his survival, you know? So he knew that he was alive for a purpose. And once he got in power, once he started to really become somebody who can actually change things, who can have a political influence, his burning desire to help gets out of hands, and he commits a murder. It becomes a national crisis. This high-ranked politician who we all know is of Jewish descent, suddenly kills an Egyptian. And looking back, do you think Moses would ask himself, if I was just a little bit wiser, if I was just a little bit less tempered, if I could just hold myself in control, that moment of my anger that was burning in me, everything would be different. Everything would be different. But now it's too late. It's way too late, says Moses talking to his sheep. It's too late now. Too late now to go to the gym and fix my health. Too late to go back to college right now. Too late to raise my kids differently. It's too late to invest in myself right now. It's too late for a better marriage. It's too late to build wealth for my retirement. Do you guys have your too lates? The older we are, more of these too lates we have. Sometimes it's really too late for some things because the time has passed. But very often, too lates are a reflection of our excuses. It's too late to do this, not because it's too late, but because right now I really don't feel like it. You know, I have better things to do with my life. And one of them is not doing this thing, so let's just put it in the too late folder. But think about your life. Are there things that could be so much better in your life, but you just don't have the stamina, don't have the mental strength, don't have the emotional investment to put right now into it, so you just label it as a too late thing? Moses was full of excuses. If you don't know the story, when you go home, go back and read Genesis chapter 3. Moses was so creative about excuses. Like, God comes at him, and he's like, okay, Moses, this is what we're going to do. You're going to go back to Moses. You're going to take my people out of slavery. Lord, I'm getting ready to retire. Like, seriously, my knees hurt. My eyesight is not good. What are you talking about? I'm way too old. I have no skills to do this. Like, I've been tending sheep for like decades now. I really have no people skills anymore. And besides, I've been gone for decades again. They're not going to recognize me. They'll have no idea who I am. And on top of it, I didn't speak Egyptian in forever. Only thing I remember is curses. I forgot the language. I don't even remember it anymore. Yada, 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 yada. You read Exodus chapter 3, you'll see a litany of his excuses. But here's the thing. What God tells him, no, you just go. We're going to figure this out on the way. You are not going to have all of the answers right now, but make a step, and we're going to solve this issue. You're old? Well, you can still walk, right? You've been walking with your sheep all of this time. You can walk to Egypt. You should be fine. You have no skills? How about that staff that is in your hand? Let's see what we can do with your staff. You guys remember the story, right? Don't make me tell you the children's church story, please. The staff that he did all of the miracles with was just an ordinary staff, but he had it. They won't remember you. Yeah, you're right. They won't remember you, but they will remember me. You forgot the language? Okay, fine. Your brother can be the PR guy for you. He's pretty fluent in Egyptian. Here's the thing. If Moses would take the time to get ready for this trip, he would have never taken the trip. And that's why God didn't even give him the opportunity to get ready. When we want to get ready for the things in our lives, we always set ourselves back because then we have an idea how we are supposed to make this happen. What God wants us is step forward, one step at a time. You don't have all of the answers, but you have this one thing that you're supposed to do. Just go with it. Moses was the same. Just go with it. So Moses is like, okay, fine, I'll go. But that happened after God yelled at him. Like literally, after all of the excuses that he gave to God, and God gives him all of these solutions, Moses is like, you know what, just send somebody else. And it's so interesting how Bible describes it. It says, at this point, God got angry. Come on, Moses, chop, chop, get up, let's go. We're done. So Moses is on his way. Aaron is there, his staff is there, everything is there. He has no idea how is this going to pan out. Absolutely no idea. Until things started panning out one after another. You go. You just go. You go with who you are. You go with what you've got. And you take this uncomfortable step in your life. You bite the bullet and apply for this job that you don't feel you're equipped for, but it's going to pay much better. You go for that hard talk with your spouse that you've been postponing for months and maybe longer. You take a second job so you can afford that education that you wanted to do for such a long time. But you go. You go and you believe that God is with you. Don't try to get ready. Allow Him to prepare you as you're on the way. Because then He will prepare you in the ways that you least expect. But He will prepare you in a way that you will really be ready to become something that is even beyond your dreams. Moses, the next 40 years were the best years of his life. His retirement age was the good new days for him. Why? Because he believed. He could have said no. He wouldn't be the first one. We say no to God all the time. That's why we are the same. That's why we are stuck where we are. Because we don't understand. When we pray for solutions, God sends us the hard times to take us through those solutions. Do you have some hard times right now? They are an opportunity in your life that you're misinterpreting as something that you need to get out of. No, you need to get through it, whatever that is. No matter how it hurts, on the other side is a greater you with more faith than you ever had in your life. But you have to push it through with faith. Not trying to get ready. Just go with it. And allow the chaos to unfold. Because God brings stillness through chaos. And the last thing that I learned when it comes to breaking ground and starting a journey of change and transformation is that when you start this, when you make this step, no matter how scary and painful it is, He's got your back. He's got your back. It's not up to you to find solutions. He will provide you with solutions. And this is the hardest one to hold on to. Because we don't dare to make a step unless we see clearly where is that step going to land us. But if you know that God is already there and you really believe, that step is going to land where you least expect it, but He's going to got your back. He will have your back when you are over there. What am I talking about? So you remember the story of Peter. Peter is a jaded agnostic that is just angry with the world. He is fishing and he is struggling and he's trying to get his life together, and he's stuck with his finances and he's fishing all day and all night, and he is really trying to make it. He has a house, he has a wife, he has a family. He's trying to take care of everybody. And after a night of fishing, he catches nothing. And Jesus is on the shore, and he's like, come on, toss the nets one more time. Toss them on the right side. And now Peter, as he is like, seriously? Come on, we fished the whole night. And now you're telling me to do it again. Like, there is a point. It's morning. Fish are not going to bite now. It's too late. Okay, fine. Fine, I'll do it. And at that moment, Jesus shows Peter that he can take care of all of his needs. Abundantly. Whatever your needs in life are right now, wherever you feel that you need to be tomorrow, God has a plan of abundance for you. Whatever you feel that you need to fix and make it better tomorrow, God already says, no. I'm going to make it 10 times better than you think it could be. And Peter realizes this after this experience. And he comes out on the shore. He falls before Jesus. He tells him, get away from me, God. Get away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man. And Jesus is like, do I care? Dude, come on. You'll be a fisher of men from now on. Just follow me. Jesus doesn't care where you are today as long as you're willing to make this step to be better one tomorrow. But here's the thing. Peter still has a life. He still has his fishing business. He still has a mortgage to pay. He has taxes to pay. He has a wife at home. I imagine Peter walking away from his boat and like, oh, Lord, what am I going to tell to my wife now? So he comes home. I imagine this. He comes home like, listen, honey, we got to talk. Take a seat. So I'm going to quit my job, and I'll be gone for a while from home. And now imagine if you're, okay, all of you girls in here, if your husband came to you and told you that, how many questions on top of your head can you come up with right now? Just imagine a ramble that Peter's wife just filed out on Peter and this one. What are you talking about? What are we going to do this? How are you going to do that? What are you doing with it? Are you crazy? What's going on with you? Like, I know, like, I hear what Jesus did. Like, okay, fish. That's amazing. But what about a life that you have? So I would assume Peter had like a hard talk with Jesus to do. Like, you know what, Jesus, so this is all great and such, and I love the fish. I thank you for that. That was awesome, but I have a life to live, I can't leave my household, my wife behind. She's freaking out, like, seriously. And I mean, reasonably so. I just told her that I'm leaving, and she's not sure how to see that. And I already had some financial struggles, so maybe we can do like 2 or 3 more catches like this, and then we can talk about it, if I could follow or not, And actually, my wife would like to speak to you about all of this follow me thing. Happy wife, happy life, right? Matthew chapter 8, verses 14 and 15. And when Jesus entered Peter's house, he saw his mother-in-law lying sick with a fever. And he touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she rose and began to serve him. So, tell me again, Peter's wife, what kind of questions did you have for me? Jesus asked. Do you think that after this, his wife had any questions for Jesus? Her mom was sick and she didn't know what to do. Her fever was getting worse. She was trying to help her. She brought her to her own home, obviously, because Dad can't take care of Mom. Come on, Mom, you come. Dad, you come, I'll take care of you. I'll make sure that you're okay. And she's not getting better. She's not getting better. And now my husband wants to leave me with my sick mother. And then Jesus does this. Mom is just up and running, and she's as healthy as she's never been before, and she's already baking bread and making pasta and getting drinks poured and everything, and she's looking at me like I'm crazy. Do you think that Peter's wife had any questions for Jesus? God will have your back. Whatever obstacles you see in life on your way to change, He has your back already. This journey of change that all of us on, it is your change, but it is His journey. You're literally accompanying Jesus on His journey of your change. And what I experienced beginning of this year is that when I really couldn't carry myself, because I was so confused, I was so angry, I was so disillusioned with some things that you're familiar with, I remember looking back like those were the moments when God really lifted me up and He carried me through. Because I couldn't go through until I realized these things and I could finally stand on my spiritual feet again. Then He dropped me down. Okay, this is what we're going to do next. Trust the process. It's not just trusting God with where you are. It's about trusting the process. That everything that is happening in your life is happening within the realm of His control. Yeah, if you hit your pinky finger on the edge of the table, yeah, that's your fault. Don't blame God on it. But then maybe you land in hospital and you meet somebody over there who really needed to hear your story. Or maybe you needed to hear their story. But I really, truly believe from a personal experience and from what we read in the Bible, that if you are really asking God to make you a better person, to give you a better life, everything that comes your way is shaped in a way to take you there. It's a vehicle that's going to take you to the next step of your trip. It might be painful. It might be scary. You might have to end some things that you've had forever in your life. But that's okay. Because in the end, we know the end of the story. We know the end of the story. I saw this really, really cool meme that really got me. It was funny, but it got me thinking. And it goes like this, kind of. It says like, so yesterday, you really made me angry. But it doesn't bother me anymore because I know that you're going to die anyways. You know, pretty brutal, but so true. like seriously, so true. Like, are you concerned? Are you playing it safe today? You're gonna die soon. Like some of us sooner, some of us later. But then on top of it, any of us can die today. Today might be the last day of your life. So are you playing it mediocre because it's easier? Are you playing it safe because you're afraid to invest, to jump out, to step in? Stop it. You're not on your own in this. Quite the contrary. You are on your own when you decide to sit down and do nothing. When you choose to be comfortably numb, God steps out. He checks out because there is nothing He can do for you at that point. And you're wondering why your life is mediocrely blessed? Because you chose to exclude God out of your tomorrow by trying to maintain your tomorrow to be the same as it is today. The last verse that we're going to read is in Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. And I'm sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. You are called to grow. You're called to look in the mirror today and say, I'm going to be better tomorrow. At whatever it is, but make a step. Is it your personal development? Is it your relationships? Is it your career? Is it your profession? Is it your family? Whatever it is. God started this. He's going to make it happen. Through your pain, through your struggle, through your hardships, not around them, not without them. Quite the contrary. These experiences are the best catalyst of us to understand what does it mean to grow in spirit. But you have to break ground. You have to break ground first. So I challenge you today. Look in the mirror, and you already know the answer. You already know where you need to improve, what it is. But take the hard step and allow God to show you that He's way more into a solution than you even think He is. Amen.